What's going on, everyone? The Area Lord is back. Welcome back to another Walking Dead vlog for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. This one is a preview for the second half of Season 10. We do not have episode names for episodes 9 through 16 of Season 10, but for now we do have this one promo. We have a short mini preview that they showed at the end of Talking Dead, and then we have this mini trailer that always follows the mid-season finale of every season, and that's no different here. And there are a few major revelations, I guess, spoilers, tidbits, interesting pieces of information that if somebody did not see this preview, there would be things that they would miss going into the episode. Some things that it's almost like a spoiler in a sense. There are a few things revealed here, and I'm going to go over the major points with some well-documented screenshots. So, moving along with the vlog, what we have, the first scene that we have is the Alexandrians outside the gates with Gamma. And you got a whole bunch of Alexandrians with their spears at the ready. Gamma does not have her mask on. And she's telling Gabriel, Rosita, and the rest that she's talking to them about the cave sequence. So the scene that we saw at the end of the mid-season finale when Daryl, Carol, Magna, Jerry, there was a few. There was actually a good sizable number of characters that got caught in the cave with all of the walkers. I don't know if it's every single walker from the mega horde, but it seems to be a good number. I really don't know how, looking back on it, and I've seen some comments about this, I don't see how you fit every single walker into that little crevice space there. It seems like an incredible feat just to be able to do that. I don't know how, because you saw at the end of Season 9 when Daryl was shown the Mega Horde by Alpha, and they were all in that valley, and there were thousands of them. And I don't understand how you take that larger group and funnel it into this little cave hole, unless there's an alternate entrance that we're not aware of that we might learn about. Anyway, not to get too caught up on that. First screenshot is of Alpha telling, so not Alpha, Gamma, Mary/Gamma, now that we know her name. This tells us that Gamma is still a turncoat, a defector of the Whisperers, that she did not know, well, I mean, she knew to an extent what Alpha was planning, but she seemingly couldn't stop it. So she knows that Alpha was planning to trap them, and the best move that she can make is to go back to Alexandria and warn everybody that they need to embark on some type of rescue mission to get the group out of that hole. All right? That's interesting because I didn't know if Gamma was fully on the side of the communities, if she had fully turned against Alpha. We definitely saw many signs of that when she was talking to Aaron about seeing her nephew. Giving information about where the horde was. The horde wasn't there. Daryl thought it was a lie. Maybe we thought that Gamma was giving false information, but it turns out that Alpha just moved the herd into this cave, and that's where our group is stuck. So, moving ahead, we get a screenshot of the group. We get a shot of the group inside the cave here. And we also have a shot of Alpha carrying a torch, and she drops it on the ground, and I don't know if she's trying to light like basically almost make like a gasoline trail, maybe to set the cave underground on fire to like kill everyone, almost like a gas bomb to just bomb the underground and kill a whole bunch of major characters. That would light her horde on fire, so I'm not sure if she would risk that, but she's definitely doing something with that torch. I'm not sure what, but looks a little suspicious to me. So there's that image. And then, moving on, we have our first shot at the naval boat. So this is the boat It's got the number 972 on it. I don't know if you guys can realize. It's a little blurry. I don't know if you can see that. But on the bottom left there, you can see 972 on the hull of the boat. And this is seemingly the naval ship that Virgil is a part of. He and Michonne took a sailboat to get here in the mid-season finale. This is confirmation, as I was saying in my review, this is confirmation that Michonne is still going to play a large role in the rest of Season 10. And that they didn't just use this naval boat, as a way to write her character off. Because as we know, they're going to need weapons aboard this ship to take out the Whisperers. So Michonne's not leaving with the intention of leaving. She's trying to get weapons to help them deal with the threat. So, will we meet new characters on this naval ship? Will Virgil hold up his end of the bargain? Will he come back, or will he stay with his family? Couple questions there. Be interested to see what you guys think about that. Then we have this trailer that's just sitting in the middle of nowhere. And I believe if you see to the left of it just a little bit, I believe Beta is walking towards that trailer. And it's in an open field. It almost looks like, if any of you guys have watched Breaking Bad, it kind of looks like the RV from the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. I don't know if that's like a nod to their brother AMC series or something, but I think that's kind of interesting. So it's definitely Beta, as there's an overhead shot, and then you have a couple of Whisperers that are jumping down, and then it seems like Beta is in this cave here. So do you think that that's the alternate entrance? Because I was talking to you guys earlier, I was saying, like, how did they get all of these walkers into this cave? There must be an alternate entrance. And do you think that they're hiding that entrance with this RV, and that they put the RV over the hole, and then they jump down inside, get underneath, and then they jump into this hole? So the image right here is of Beta looking up, maybe at other Whisperers. Maybe he is told that the group is trapped down there, and maybe he's going with a few Whisperers to kill them himself. Maybe they're not going to use fire to do it. So that would preserve their horde and take out a couple of their adversaries underground. So that's another alternative. The next image that we have here is of Gamma standing before the council, 2 armed guards on both sides. I don't know if they're contemplating. I gotta tell you, it's kind of funny that the prison cell that Morgan built back in Season 6 has seen a revolving door of occupants. This season alone. Because we had Negan in there. He's been in there for years and years and years. That's the first person who was put in that prison cell. Actually, technically Dwight was, and then Negan. Dwight very briefly at the end of Season 7, if you guys remember, when he bumps into Rosita puts him in there when he says he wants to help. But that's neither here nor there. Then there's Negan for all those years. And then Lydia goes in there briefly because she thinks that remember that it was that episode a few episodes back when she was being antagonized by the Alexandrians, and she felt that being in the prison cell was the safest place where nobody could get her. And it was pretty sad, but in a way, it was truthful. And then you had that random Whisperer that Carol captured, the one that Dante kills because he's afraid that maybe the guy will recognize him. I think probably in the long run, now that we know Dante was a Whisperer spy, that's the case. And then after the random Whisperer guy, Dante himself was put in that prison cell for what he did to Sadiq. And then Gabriel, as we know, Gabriel murdered him in the mid-season finale, so now nobody's in that prison cell. So it's open. It's open for an occupant. So if maybe they're gonna imprison Gamma just to hold her as a valuable asset. But at the same time, I don't think Gamma wants to give up. Like, she wants to be, like, kind of like Gamma is to the Whisperers what Dwight was to the Saviors. If you guys remember when Dwight had his change of heart, when he realized that Negan and the Saviors had screwed his life and he wanted to stop that, he was on the inside in the sanctuary sabotaging the guns. Like, he really helped them win that war, like by showing them the location of the outposts and so many other little tidbits of information. So that's, I think, what Gamma's going to do. So I don't think they'll put her in prison. They'll have her go back to Alpha, pretend to still be on her side. But I think she has a reason to support the communities, not just because of how hypocritical Alpha is, but also her living blood is the little baby Adam, her nephew, is living at Hilltop. And so I think she'll survive the events of the Whisperer War, and if any Whisperer is to survive the ordeal once everything is said and done, I believe it's going to be her. I think she'll assimilate into the community, raise her only living relative, maybe alongside that blacksmith guy who lost his wife to the Pikes. That's long-term stuff, but I just wanted to bring that up real quick. So it's interesting, and I like what they've done with her character in that regard. And it seems like Gabriel's going to have to make a decision with all of that. So, one scary scene here. I don't know if it's real or not, but Rosita is in her home in Alexandria, and there is a Whisperer standing over the baby crib and actually brandishes a knife over the baby and is seemingly going to kill it. Now, I don't know if this Whisperer is somebody we should recognize, or maybe this is some PTSD that Rosita is having of her own. Again, I always get skeptical with these trailers because they always frame scenarios where it seems like something awful is going to happen, like this Whisperer holding a knife over her child ready to kill it. I don't think that's going to be the case. If they wanted to get rid of Rosita's baby, they would have put her head on the pikes like she does, like what happens to her in the comic book. She is one of the Pike victims in the comics, in case you didn't know. But they let the baby live, and I don't think they would do something so cruel, especially after just killing Siddiq. So, this is probably, this kind of looks like Dante as a Whisperer with his old Whisperer mask. If you remember, Dante had the mask with the hair when he has Siddiq in the barn. I think this is a hallucination. That's my prediction. And yeah, I only say that just because of the way it looks right there. So, this next scene is odd. It's down by this lake with some overgrown trees. There's a bunch of Whisperers / walkers meandering about. Not sure what it implies, so we'll go over that. Alpha is in this group with a few of them. And as we see, I guess I answered my own question regarding Gamma. Alpha's having a conversation with her, so Gamma must return back to the Whisperer camp and is putting up the facade that she's still in support of everything the Whisperers do. Now, Alpha is very good at snuffing out bullshit. The thing is, though, she doesn't have her eyes and ears on the inside anymore. She no longer has that leverage because Dante is dead, so she doesn't have that leverage anymore. She may have a lot of the group trapped underground, but now the tables have kind of turned on her now that one of her own is now an informant for the communities. So, interesting how that's going to happen. Now, this screenshot, we got two actually. Very, very interesting because we have Negan and Alpha, and a conversation between the two, which we did not get to see in episode 6. Negan approached her at the end and pledged himself, but we didn't really see how that was going to play out. But this is really interesting. I don't know if they're going to go the goofy route of the comic book, because if anyone has read the comics with the scenes between Alpha and Negan, it's really, really funny. Balls to the walls, just like him. It's kind of like how he was in episode 6, where he was cracking jokes, just swinging his swagger around. That was the Negan that we got in that episode. Is that the Negan we're going to see in that scene? Questionable. Let's see. We have all of the walkers in this giant pit. We have Daryl standing in this little circle right here with a whole bunch of the walkers surrounding him. I don't know if he's going to try to stab each of them one by one. I mean, one of them could grab your feet and try to pull you into the herd, and then that's it. But whatever strategy works, I'm not sure what they're going to do. There is this scene here which is justifiable where Daryl says, I can't even turn my back on you anymore. He's referring to Carol's reckless actions. When she chased after Alpha, that's what got all of them stuck in the cave in the first place. So she's to blame. Her reckless decisions chased away Lydia and got them in this situation. So we're back on this spectrum of liking Carol, disagreeing with Carol. Everyone knows she's a badass, but her decision-making has been very questionable thus far. And haven't been happy with it. And if I predict a character is going to die in this cave sequence, I'm going to reserve that for another vlog. But my baseline prediction right now is that a character will die as a result of Carol's actions. I have one in mind, but I'm not going to reveal it. But I definitely think that this is going to be it's going to stir consternation over this reckless decision of hers. And Daryl's words are going to prove correct. So Michonne gets back into the action. She gets back from her trip, as is revealed in this vlog. So those don't look like whispers to me, though. Those definitely look like zombies. Like, they look like hollow husks. They don't look like someone's wearing a mask. Like, you can see through the eyes where the eyes are open, pupils dilated, and they're moving around. It's daytime. I don't think so. This screenshot is pretty badass, though. Beta emerges and brandishes his knives, and he's outside the gates of Alexandria. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. Again, I don't know what the sequence of events are. I'll probably do yet another vlog. Again, I have 3 months until the next Walking Dead episode comes, so I might as well fill December and January with some type of content. So I have a vlog where I'm going to predict what happens, just plot-wise, with these next couple of episodes until Season 10 is concluded. And one of those things I'm going to predict is what the heck is Beta doing outside the gates of Alexandria? What is this sequence that we're looking at here? Because that's interesting to me. So, now... This sequence here is some of the group trying to get out of the hole, and you can see Jerry struggling, Aaron yelling, come on. They're structuring it right now and making it look like Jerry is going to get killed. I don't know. Again, I'm going to save that for another vlog as to who I think is going to die, but that's certainly very interesting. Yes, very, very interesting indeed. I swear to God, though, Carol's decision-making is pissing me off. Now, we get back-to-back screenshots here. Holy crap. All right. We have a troubled Negan walking, and Alpha is right behind him. So, I don't know if this is in regards to their conversation that it probably is, in regards to the conversation that they had earlier. And I don't know what it's going to entail. I don't know what Negan's angle is. I still think that he's a double agent trying to undermine the communities. Maybe he'll catch on to Gamma trying to do the same thing. But he doesn't look too happy in this sequence. Now, concurrently, we have Beta inside somebody's home in Alexandria. Now, we saw that sequence earlier with Rosita and her baby where there's a Whisper standing with the knife right over it. Could these two things be connected? I don't think that was him, though. Like, the Whisper... If I could go back, the Whisperer that was standing over the baby, it doesn't look like Beta. I'm going back here. It does not. It doesn't look like Beta to me. Yeah, I don't think this like the hair is not there. I don't know. I don't think I don't think that's Beta. Um so we'll have to see. This next screenshot, holy crap. If there was ever a thumbnail to make for this video, this is the army of Alexandria and the Hilltop. This is basically the army of the communities, the army of the good guys. And they are standing with their oceanside shields in flank outside the gates of the Hilltop. And I can only assume that this is the Whisperer War. This is actually the events of the Whisperer War, sending the mega herd, sending the Whisperers. Like, this is no more truce. This is war, community versus community. I don't know what's going to trigger it. That will be in my episode prediction. But this certainly looks interesting. I keep saying interesting, but all of these screenshots and little flashes in the video are juicy as all fuck. So I forgive me for fanboying out a little bit here. I hope you guys are too. Let's see here. This sequence kind of cool. We got, oh my god. We have Father Gabriel shooting a shotgun at somebody. I don't know who. You got a couple other people running with him. It's at nighttime. Could be at the Whisper camp. Not sure. Maybe this is an expedition to save the ones who got trapped underground. That's a likely prediction that I can make. And then, this is a weird image. We have oh, you know what? I think I know what this might be. So this is an image of Negan shirtless. Hope he's wearing something underneath. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on here. Some people thought that maybe Alpha and Negan were doing the deed, that they were hooking up. I don't see Alpha as the person who's having sex with people. I just don't. She is too authoritarian and too power hungry to let her guard down like that. I think, this is just my prediction, I think that this is almost a rite of passage for Negan joining the Whisperers. I think it's very similar to when remember when at the end of season 9 when Beta took the tree bark and was slapping Alpha's wrists and causing those bruises on her arm. I think something similar is happening here, where he has to bear some skin, and then Alpha is probably standing somewhere near him, and then she's gonna whip him with maybe more tree bark or something else, just to prove how tough he is. That's my prediction, just from looking at this scene. But if you guys have any other ideas, let me know. The next is of Ezekiel and Carol. Maybe they're getting back together. Maybe Ezekiel's finally gonna... I feel like he's going to reveal the cancer thing that we learned about in the first half. That's got to come up at some point. That also tells us that Carol made it out of the cave. So there are some characters that we see in sequences that are beyond. So that has to be it. Then we have a sequence of the army from before staring down the walkers. So there's all these pikes that they've made, ironically, pikes. And there's probably Whisperers and walkers marching towards them. And oh boy, I can't wait to see this sequence, man. This war, I just hope that it's done. Like I hope the action is worth it, because as much as All Out War with the Saviors had some good action sequences, people definitely felt that it was a little drawn out. Maybe that it could have been addressed sooner. There were so many characters that, like, it was just like action, action, action. You got weighed down with some of the semantics of it, and it didn't always feel as necessary and as eventful as it could have. So I'm hoping the Whisper of War can maybe change some of that. Okay? Next image we have is of Judith holding up Daryl's vest, and she's added a new addition to it where she's put a new wing with the blue, like she drew a wing and patched it and sewed it on to his vest. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't think Daryl's vest was damaged unless in the cave sequence it gets ripped somehow and then Judith kindly repairs it for him. That's a possibility, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small detail. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, this is interesting. Okay. And I didn't even notice this. Upon first viewing, I didn't even notice this. So, a couple things here. This is an event that happens in the comic book where the Whispers use flaming arrows and they shoot them at the Hilltop. Now, one important fact. When that happens in the comics, Alpha is dead. Okay? Just as a spoiler, Alpha is dead when that happens. As you can and I missed this, as you can clearly see here, unless this is somebody else that has her mask, this most certainly is Alpha standing alongside her army. So, she lives to command her forces. And this is something that we did not get in the comics because she never leads her army into battle. She dies when there's still a truce between the communities. And it's actually Beta who leads the charge and leads the armies of the Whisper and the Mega Horde at the communities. It's actually, he's the guy in, like, he's second in charge, but then he becomes the main guy to lead this. And at that point, all it is a vengeance quest. They just want vengeance for Alpha's murder, and they're just throwing all of their forces to kill as many members of the opposite communities of Alexandria and the Hilltop as humanly possible. But I think, and I've said this about the Whisper arc, I mean, think of all the things that they've done in the first half with the backstory of the Whispers, with Alpha and Beta and Lydia. You get so many extra little details about these characters that humanizes them and makes you really understand why they went to these primal roots. And you got none of this in the comics. And I keep referencing it, the comics, what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys have read them, but they didn't expand upon the Whispers at all. They didn't. Alpha was barely alive. She dies as quickly as she shows up. And as epic as it is with all of the things that happen with Negan, I just think it was way too soon. And when the show started adapting the Whispers, my hope was that they would do justice to Alpha and the Whisper storyline, and that it wouldn't have such a just unsatisfying, boring, just odd conclusion. Like the way, it was awful. Robert Kirkman's writing for the Whisper storyline in the comics was god awful. I would say post-Pike sequence. After the Pike sequence, everything with the Whispers beyond that is horrible. The dialogue with Negan and the Negan interactions was cool, but how they handled it, maybe actually, yeah, post-Alpha. After Alpha is killed, everything with the Whispers beyond that is awful. And it's probably one of the worst segments of writing that Kirkman ever has in the comic books. And I'm being really harsh, but just on paper, when you look at the grand scheme of things, they only existed really to kill a number of characters and affect Rick with one of his very close relatives who is injured and killed as a result of the mega horde. So they were only a pawn piece in the grand scheme of things. And it doesn't, like, they've affected, so far in the show, they've affected every facet from traitors on the inside to the backstory to infecting the water. Like they expanded so much upon the paranoia because they only brushed the surface with Silence the Whisperers and all of that. They only brushed the surface of what kind of paranoia can go on when you have a truce with an enemy that has such a scary visual to them. And you very, very, very briefly scratch the surface in the comics, and the show really took this deep, dark plunge into what can happen. And I like it. I really like it. And this is a preview, not really a review. I'll make a separate vlog reviewing the half of season 10 as I've done with the previous seasons, but just to get some of that out there, I like that Alpha's alive for this sequence. Basically what I'm getting at. Looking at this image, I'm glad she's here with her soldiers firing flaming arrows at Hilltop. Not that I'm rooting for her, but I think it's a cool sequence. All right. Anyway, man, that was a long rant there. Anyway, now this, for Daryl Dixon fans, this is your wet dream right here. Daryl has his new vest that Judith made, and he's got some sort of swinging mace. He doesn't have his crossbow with him. Interestingly enough, it's not slung over his shoulders. He's not carrying it. All he has is this mace. I mean, you technically wouldn't want to use a crossbow when you have a giant horde of walkers because you're going to lose all of your arrows in the horde. And it doesn't have the reload function of like a gun. When you shoot a gun, you know, the ammunition's lost and you got to make each shot count. But with your crossbow, you can salvage the arrows. And so if you just shoot them wildly into a crowd of walkers, you're not going to get those back. But this is this is an interesting little march right here that he's doing. And then we've got Obi-Wan Michonne, which is curious. I don't know what she's disguised in here. There's still the talk and discussion and question mark of her departure and how that's going to go. So we got a lot of questions there. And then we have Taterbud getting maybe some action here, going in for the romantic kiss. They've been teasing and foreshadowing. Rosita really wasn't accepting the romantic gestures from Eugene, but maybe because of Siddiq's death and her being somewhat at odds with Father Gabriel, the hot-ass love quadrangle has really... a lot of them are dropping off because now Rosita's losing lovers left and right, and I think Eugene is set up in a position where his romance with Rosita is certainly possible. And it would be nice. I mean, he's been chasing this for so long. Ever since he knew Rosita, before we even knew their group in season 4, when it was Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene. Abraham and Rosita would bang. Eugene would watch lustfully. And he's had these thoughts about Rosita season after season after season after season. Literally for 6 seasons. Because of, you know, how naturally good looking she is, and they've built quite a bond, and I'd be proud of Eugene. And maybe again, are they trying to trick us that this is a dream sequence? I don't know, but I hope that Eugene, I like him, and I hope that he gets it. I hope Taterbud gets the ice cream cone. And then we have, let's see. Oh, we have Daryl swinging his mace. we have Daryl swinging his freaking mace, ready to plunge into the war. And then we get Rosita swinging her sword at the Whisper. So I guess the Whisper that was standing over the crib is real? Or maybe she's going to strike the wall and it's not going to really be there. I don't know. I mean, this leans in the direction that the Whisper is real, that's threatening the baby. But we don't know. I still think there's some PTSD thing here. I don't know how a freaking Whisper sneaks into the community. I don't know. We'll see. But last image. Alpha with blood all over her neck, down one side of her eyes, across her nose, on her chin. I can't tell what the background is. It looks like there's like this white tarp behind her, and there's like dirt and leaves. Maybe this is that island that's in the like that lake, the lake that I showed in the earlier image. But what's going on here is my question. Did she just murder somebody? Maybe she found out that Gamma was a traitor and she just killed Gamma. That would be horrible. I wouldn't want that to happen. Is this maybe her death? Is somebody about to kill her and she's accepting it? I don't know. I really have no idea. One character that I noticed that's not in this trailer at all is Lydia. Where the hell is Lydia? Did they do that intentionally because they don't want us to know? Or is she just removed? Because Lydia cannot be absent from the events of this war. She just can't be, because she's part of the reason why this is happening in the first place. So I will be very angry. We didn't get any details about her whereabouts when she just runs off after she gets frustrated that Carol used her. She runs off. We don't know where she went. And they didn't answer it in the mid-season finale, which I was frustrated about. And there's no indication of her whereabouts in this trailer at all. We see a freaking war at the gates of Hilltop. We see a potential attacker going after Rosita and her baby. We have Beta inside the gates of Alexandria, outside the gates of Alexandria, infiltrating Alexandria. We have Gamma turning against the Whisperers inside Alexandria, revealing what happened in the cave. Possible romance between Eugene and Rosita. We've got the boat, the reveal of the naval boat, that it's a real thing. We have this RV in the middle of nowhere. We have Michonne sneaking up on these walkers. We have this shirtless sequence with Negan. I don't really know what's going on with him and Alpha. The shield sequence. This is going to be crazy, guys. This second half looks absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. There's just so much. I don't know how they're going to condense this into as many episodes as they have. I really don't. And I know that the actress princess, or not the actress princess, the character princess from the comics, this woman that wears this bright pink jacket, she comes into the comics after the Whisper stuff, but she's been cast for season 10. So with all of this stuff going on, and we don't know what's going on with Lydia, and now Princess is coming into the picture, will she still come in when the Whisper stuff is going on, or is all of this going to conclude and then she comes in towards the end, maybe syncing up with the radio? That's another thing. Eugene and the radio. We had that one sequence in episode 6, and now what's going to happen? They seem to have just put that plot on the back burner, which is some of what I was saying in my review. A lot of things they just seem to put on the back burner so they could cram it all in to this second half. I hope they have enough time. I really do, because there just seems to be so much stuff happening, and I hope that the amount of episodes they have is enough to deal with all of this. And maybe I didn't realize how much they had put on the table, how much they went all in, because they really did go all in, and this is infinitely better than the Whispers in the comics. I can just tell you, I don't know what's going to happen, but so far with season 9, half of season 10, everything they've done with the Whispers has been infinitely better. Just a fact. So, with all of that said, thank you guys for watching. I want your predictions, your comments, your everything. If you can supply them to me, that would be great, because all we're going to be doing is talking about this for the next 3 months. At least any video I make about The Walking Dead will serve that purpose, because we won't have the show until like February. Yeah, this is a late start. We don't get The Walking Dead until February 23rd. We need to wait until the end of freaking February. So, until then, let's make vlogs until our heart's content. And this trailer revealed so much. It revealed that some characters make it out of the cave. It revealed certain comic book moments are happening. There's a war. There's freaking weird interactions with Negan. All the stuff I listed. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. All right. That's all I've got to say. Thank you guys so very much for watching. This has been a great vlog. I hope you enjoyed. It's actually, man, this vlog is really freaking long. So I hope you didn't mind, but we have a long wait, as I said. So might as well make a long discussion about this stuff. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys later for more content. Peace out.